Hey everybody, welcome to Leon's Chainsaw Parts and Repair. Happy Saturday. So you guys have seen this drill press sitting in the background of many a video when I have the camera aimed that high. And I've never used it on video. I'm not going to today yet because I've got, well, nothing to use. You know, I don't need to drill any broken studs out of the head or anything silly like that, but I've been working on this thing, getting it back into shape. When Pop passed away a couple years ago, I had a lot of tools. You know, I bought a lot of different stuff, but I'd never bought a drill press, and there was no way that I was going to let this old thing go anywhere but in my shop. There was a lot of stuff I was more than willing to let my brother-in-law take that he could use that I knew I wouldn't, but not this guy. So it's sat here. I've used it a little bit, but anytime I'd run it, it was just loud, and I mean loud. And the last couple times there's some pretty serious drag on the motor, and I knew I needed to do some work. So I started dinking around with this a couple weeks ago, and this old motor is not the original one to that drill press. Best info I can find on that press is that was built in the 40s, so if so, that means it was my grandfather's, and when he left it at the old place, that's when my dad got it. But this motor, this screams of the kind of stuff my dad would do. Let me set the camera down and roll this heavy bastard over. Who knows what it actually... Sorry for the loud bang. What it came off of. But that chunk of diamond plate that's being used as a custom motor mount, that is 100% the kind of stuff my dad would come up with. And yeah, pretty cool. I knew things were going a little bit awry. You can see even though the screws are tight, they've wallered out the plate there, so it was kind of rattling around. But what really got me, this is a round shaft, and the set screw had loosened up on that pulley at some point. Just ripped the crap out of this. And then this is a custom shield because this shaft was longer than it needed to be. That is a bronze bushing that my dad turned on his old metal lathe to fit whatever bearing he found in his supply of junk that would fit on here, and then this little custom cap to try and protect the end of the motor housing. So just kind of cool stuff. But like I say, it's worn very badly. Yeah, somebody could rebuild it. You might be able to find brushes and brush holders, but I mean, this stuff is just, it's seen better days. So I did a little research on what that motor mount would be. I'm not a motor expert by any stretch, but I was able to find a nice Dayton that was in good shape that happened to work. It fits the motor plate on this drill press perfectly, so I'm pretty happy about that. Oh, that was the other thing. You'll note that what should be a 4-step pulley is only a 3 at the moment, and it's missing the bottom plate here. That was worn and cut through. I don't think I've ever seen that before. So I'm waiting on a new pulley to come in that I'll put on here, but that'll be the last thing that I need to do. Just got that motor installed this morning, got it wired up. It's in the switch, you know. The switch box, I think, actually used to be on the other side, but again, my dad wanted it over here. That's what I'm used to. It's what I grew up with, so that's where it stays. Note it has a spot for the key to not get lost. And that's what started this whole thing. The old chuck was worn out. You can't spin this over by hand right now, and it would not center a drill bit. I had to, the last drill job I did was 2 weeks ago, and that's what pushed me over the edge. I needed to drill through 2-inch solid shank hitch adapter for my winch. I wanted to move it in closer to the bumper so it wasn't sticking out in front of the truck so much, and oh my god, that was one of the most miserable experiences with this worn out chuck ever. And I just decided, alright, it's time to give this press some love. So that's a brand new That's the JT33 mount. I don't think it's actually a Jacobs branded, but I already threw the box away, so I'm not positive. But that's what came off of here. So it's that old tapered. And a pickle fork took that right off. Surprised the hell out of me. Collateral damage along the way. That is the old stop collar, and when I went to tighten it back up, it just cracked right out. And since I could find one on eBay, I went ahead and bought it. Yes, I know, with a chunk of appropriate welding rod that could be welded back together so it's not going in the garbage. But enough of my running my mouth. My vantage point, that belt's aligned perfectly. The pulley's a little bent, getting it off of that old shaft. Even using a puller and trying to be careful, I still damaged it a bit. It was pretty jacked up, but pretty happy. So, the next time that I come across a part that has a broken off stud, like say a muffler bolt on the cylinder head, if I need to extract it or drill it out, it's going to be a whole lot easier using that bad boy. The Delta Homecraft.